yeah, welcome back. We are here. We are thriving. We are here with a book review today. So that's magical. We are here for book review. These two gorgeous books. Ben's in here today. Kind of.
It was so weird. I went.
Yeah, so I'm going to give you a full book review. I was going to do a video and like some people wanted a video, but I just thought like this way you can chat with me and you can ask me questions if you want to. If you don't, you obviously don't have to. So I'm going to jump into a book review. I've got all my notes.
Need help?
That's like the worst thing possible to happen, but here we are. Okay, we're going to pretend that didn't happen. Right. I've got all my notes here on my little Notion app. So I'm going to go through everything and I'm going to go through like, there's going to be a few spoilers, but there's not going to be many spoilers. I'm going to keep it completely spoiler free, really, but I'm just going to get into the review. So we're going to start with the first book. So it's actually a duet. Yeah, actually the first book leaves on a cliffhanger and then we go straight into the second book. So you need to kind of read them both. It's not like you can kind of get away without. Oh, I'm on the wrong book. That's a great start, Ellie. Okay. The first book, I rated 94 out of 100. So I really liked it, you know. Yeah, the first book I did really love. My heart was sold straight away. So I'm going to go through the book a bit if you've not already known the book. Basically, it's about a guy called Zaid and a girl called Adeline. He owns a company that works in the trade of destroying like rings, if you know what I mean. And she's a book author, an author who like writes books, obviously. And she's just bought this like spooky mansion thing house that her grandma's left her in the will. So she's got the house, and she's just kind of getting used to the house, but she finds this diary from her great grandmother, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, who basically had a stalker who was like she fell in love with. So this book, she kind of, it's like a bit of like deja vu, because Zaid, the guy in the book, stalked her. Yeah, I really liked it. I liked the concept of the story. I thought it was really, really good. And then like she obviously develops feelings for him and then they like fall in love and it's kind of really cute. But then he kind of establishes, this is a bit of a spoiler, that she's actually like, people want to take her, and it's a bit heartbreaking if I'm being honest. Like, and it's the people who he's trying to like hunt down that are gonna take her. So it was a little bit heartbreaking. The book does finish on a cliffhanger. There are some really great scenes in there, if you know what I mean. You won't be disappointed. But okay, so on to my opinion of the book. That was like the kind of plotline, storyline. I actually really liked the book. The stalkery side of it was like a little bit of me. Like I just kind of feel like I haven't really encroached onto that genre before. I like the character, like Zaid, he was great. MMC, like he was like perfect in this book. And the FMC, I thought she was really fun because like I hate it, it's a bit of a pet peeve when they're a bit like boring and they're a bit like like just do whatever kind of thing, where I thought in this book she was a very like strong independent woman, and it was like there was a bit more to her character. It was a really great book, and it wasn't too dark. I feel like usually if it's a really like high spiced book, then it's usually quite dark as well, like they're like the same level. But I felt like this book, it was like a bit of a split, which I think was really good. But definitely, if you are going to read this book, read the trigger warnings. It's not a joke. You cannot joke with these books. Read them. You need to read them, definitely for the second book. And I thought it was a really good, like, I just thought it was a lovely book. Like, it does leave on a cliffhanger, so you are a bit like, you know, but yeah, I just thought it was a lovely book. On to the second book. The second book, I'm still living through the trauma. So the first book's called Haunting, the second book's called Hunting. And let me get my thing up. So I rated this one a 92 out of 100. So the last one was 94, this one's 92. And the reason it's 92 is because it's just so dark. It's such a dark book. So the start of the book, spoiler if you've not read the first book, but she basically gets captured, and the first 300 pages, so the first literally up to here, so this much of the book, this side, is all just dark trauma. If you kind of get the vibe, it was not great. It was very traumatic. I'm still traumatized. I read these books like nearly 2 weeks ago, and I'm still heavily traumatized. She just goes through months of trauma. And she has to learn to adapt, and just basically she's in like survival mode. She's just got to keep herself alive. And then this is where my interest kind of struggles. So in this book, Zaid, the MMC, I feel like he's just a little bit, he's not completely there. Like, he is, and don't get me wrong, like, they have a great reunion, but I feel like he kind of just faffs around a bit. Like, he's not as desperate as I need him to be. Like, I'm going through the trauma, you know, reading, and the character's obviously going through the trauma, but I feel like he's just not, it just wasn't, I wasn't getting the necessity and the urgency that was needed from his side. But I think actually after reading the second 300 pages, I think you have to kind of go through that process and that trauma yourself in order to understand like how broken she is, because my heart just broke for the poor girl. Honestly, I've never felt so like emotionally invested in a character in a book before. Like, I was just shocked, you know. Yeah, the second part is about a mental recovery, and she like has to learn back to get, like, she has to learn to get back to normal life. She's extremely broken, and she's obviously changed after like what's gone on. They do go on an unalive spree after, which you get the revenge that you needed for the first half of the book, which I thought was quite good. And I think it's quite clever in this book how the trauma that she experiences gets changed like around with her experiences with Zaid. Like, the author is so clever in like how like they write the book. Like, it's a full like the trauma that she goes through becomes like the key focus with Zaid, because obviously that's where her trauma is, and she can't live because she's just like all this mental trauma. So he kind of helps her work through that, and I think that that's a really like clever way to like level things up. Don't get me wrong, like, there's definitely good scenes in there. Like, some of the scenes in this book blew my mind. Like, it was a whole level up to the first book, but I think it was a level up in darkness as well as like the storyline as well. so my personal opinion, I did really struggle with the first 300 pages. They were traumatic. I struggled to read the book. Like, I was really like turning the page and I was like, I don't want to turn the page, you know, because it's a bit traumatic. But I was impressed by how the trauma actually then played a massive part in the second half of the book. Like, where most books, I feel like, where there's trauma involved, I feel like the girls just kind of expected to get over it, where in this book it was really focused on that and focused on like how they work through that trauma, and you kind of see like the insides of that, and I just think that was really great. At some points I thought I was genuinely psychotic with some of the things that were going on. I was questioning my mental sanity, in a good way and a bad way. It was a definite must read. The first book was very different to the second book, but they were both incredible in their own ways. The second one was a lot more intense. Like, everything was just leveled up, like I said before. Like, it was just so much more intense. Like, I was struggling to read some of it because it was just a bit, maybe too intense for me, but that's again just personal opinion. I would definitely recommend the series, but read the trigger warnings. It is 18, maybe 20 plus, but I think the writing's just incredible, and I think like you see the character grow, and I think like it's quite hard to find that in a book where you actually see the growth of a character, especially in 2 books. Like, you can see that more often across like a big series like Akatar, but in 2 books I think like the amount of growth you see in the character was just unbelievable. So that is the end of my little live book review. Are you clapping? Oh,
That was amazing.
yeah, I did quite well there, didn't you think?
You did, yeah.
I think like I just think like I really went out for it there. I just kind of I've never done that before, so I hope you enjoyed it. If you didn't, doesn't matter. Don't watch.
I enjoyed it.
And I just kind of think like, if you like these kind of things, we can do these things more often. If you don't like these things, well, if I want to do them, I'm gonna do them anyway. But thank you so much for watching. Remember to hit the subscribe button, to follow our channel, because we post loads of cute content. You might like it, you might not. If you don't like it, don't subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll be back really soon with another video. We've actually done a poll on our channel and everybody said they wanted a vlog, so we're gonna vlog the next couple of days, and then it's going to be out on Sunday for you. So if you're here and you subscribed and you've turned on your post notifications, you'll get the vlog on Sunday. If not, we're posting I think 6 shorts a day, so you can see them. And we'll be back soon with another live video when I've finished my next set of books, or beforehand if we feel more motivated. If you like live videos, let us know. We'll do more of them. So thank you for watching, and we are going.